Justin Bieber just crushed the dreams of millions of fans around the world, and we need to talk about what happened, because this is huge. If you want to stay in the loop on everything happening in pop culture, then hit that subscribe button right now because you're about to hear some news that's going to shock you. So there's been this massive rumor floating around for months that Justin Bieber was planning a world tour in 2026. Fans have been losing their minds with excitement, thinking they're finally going to see him perform live again after years of waiting. The speculation started building up when people heard whispers about him potentially headlining Coachella and then following that up with a full-blown tour across the globe. Everyone was getting their hopes up and talking about which cities he'd visit and how much tickets would cost and what songs he'd perform. But now we're hearing something completely different, and it's not what anyone wanted to hear. According to brand new reports, Justin Bieber is not planning on going on tour anytime soon. Like at all. The rumors that had everyone excited are apparently not happening, and fans are devastated. Sources close to the situation are saying that Justin's 2026 tour dreams are basically dead in the water right now. He's on his own timeline, and he's not rushing into anything. The latest information says that Justin may still be set to headline Coachella 2026, but if you're hoping for a massive world tour to follow, you might need to lower your expectations. Any buzz around a 2026 Bieber tour has gone completely radio silent. All the conversations about venues and dates and even creative concepts for the tour have stopped cold. Just gone. Ghosted. Like they never even happened. One insider said that Justin's not ignoring his fans, but right now the talk about touring just isn't happening. He's taking his time and being very careful about what he commits to. Another source says the quiet is very intentional. Every conversation about the 2026 tour has gone quiet. No leaks and no teasers. Justin wants complete control over when and how he comes back to performing. There were plenty of rumors flying around that he was going to headline a tour after Coachella. Some people were even saying he might do a Vegas residency. There was talk about him possibly performing at the Sphere in Vegas, which would have been absolutely insane. That venue is incredible, and seeing Justin perform there would have been a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But none of that seems to be in the cards right now. Just because conversations have gone silent doesn't necessarily mean it's never going to happen, though. What I think is that Justin wants to get through Coachella first, and then see how everything goes. He probably wants to test the waters and see what the demand is like. He wants to see how fans react and what the reviews say about his performance. He hasn't done anything on this scale in a very long time, so it makes sense that he'd want to ease back into it instead of jumping straight into a massive world tour. You have to remember that performing takes a huge toll on artists both physically and mentally. Touring means being away from home for months at a time. It means sleeping in different hotels every night and traveling constantly and performing show after show without much of a break. That's exhausting for anyone, but especially for someone who's been through what Justin has been through over the past few years. He's been focusing on his mental health and his marriage and his family. He became a father recently, and that changes everything. When you have a baby at home, your priorities shift. You don't want to be on the road, missing out on all those important moments. You want to be there for every milestone and every laugh and every late night feeding. So it makes total sense that Justin would be hesitant to commit to a tour right now. But fans are still getting something. Even if there's no world tour happening, you're still getting Coachella. And if you didn't get tickets to Coachella, don't worry, because it's live streamed. You can watch it on TV or on YouTube or wherever they broadcast it. So you'll still be able to see Justin perform even if you're not there in person. That's something to look forward to. Plus, Justin has been giving fans a lot lately. He dropped 2 albums. He's working on new music. He launched a clothing line. He's been active on social media, sharing glimpses of his life. And now he's headlining one of the biggest music festivals in the world. That's a pretty big year for the Beliebers. So even though a tour isn't happening right now, there's still plenty to be excited about. Justin recently went back to the bowling alley where he filmed the music video for Baby. That song launched his entire career and made him a global superstar when he was just a kid. He went back to that exact location and sang an acoustic version of the song. The video shows him walking through the bowling alley, and then he starts singing without any music playing. Just his voice. And let me tell you, he sounds incredible. His voice has matured so much over the years, but he still has that same quality that made everyone fall in love with him in the first place. He hits every note perfectly, and his voice control is insane. You can tell he's been taking care of his voice and working on his craft. Even after all these years, he can still sing better than most artists out there. The bowling alley looks pretty rundown now. It's not as nice as it was when they filmed the baby video all those years ago, but that almost makes the moment more special. It's raw and real and nostalgic. Justin is going back to where it all started and remembering what it felt like to be that 13-year-old kid with a dream. In the video, he says she was my first love. People are speculating about who he's talking about and whether he means Selena Gomez. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. The point is that he's reflecting on his past and where he came from. He's acknowledging the journey he's been on and how much has changed since he first stepped into that bowling alley. Fans are eating this up. The video has millions of views and the comments are full of people saying how much they love him and how talented he is. Even people who aren't huge Justin Bieber fans are admitting that his voice is incredible. There's no denying his talent. The guy can sing, and he can sing well. For fans who are upset about the tour not happening, this should be a consolation. You're getting moments like this. You're getting Justin going back to his roots and sharing that with the world. You're getting new music and Coachella and all these other things. It's not a full world tour, but it's still a lot more than some artists give their fans. Some people are comparing this whole situation to High School Musical. Remember when Sharpay wanted the fabulous life? That was Justin when he was younger. He wanted it all, and he got it. He became one of the biggest pop stars on the planet. But now he's in a different phase of his life. He's not that hungry kid trying to make it anymore. He's established, and he has other priorities. Speaking of dreams, there was this wild dream that happened recently, where Britney Spears made an appearance. In the dream, there was this lounge with a bunch of people hanging out. Britney was there laying on a couch with Paris Hilton and some other friends around her. Her team got up to do something, and for a second she was alone. That seemed like the perfect opportunity to go say hello. So in the dream, there was this approach to Britney, and she was bent down picking up things from her purse that had fallen on the floor. There was this huge diamond necklace on the ground, so it got picked up to hand it to her. But Britney looked up and said, "Are you literally stealing in front of me?" After explaining it was hers and trying to give it back, she said, "Oh, you're giving it to me?" She seemed surprised, like she wasn't used to people being nice to her. She asked for the necklace to be put on the table instead of handing it directly to her. So it got placed on the table, and she said, "Thank you, sweetie." And then she said, "Lose some weight." Just like that. Out of nowhere. It was shocking and confusing, and the reaction was to think maybe she's just having a rough day. Maybe she's going through something, and this just isn't the right time. The dream ended with walking away thinking about how the first time meeting Britney Spears, and she just said that. And the weirdest part was thinking about needing to tell people about this. Even in the dream, there was this thought about recording a video to share the story. Which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, what if we're all just living in a dream right now? What if none of this is real? That's the kind of thought that can drive you crazy if you think about it too much. There was actually a period after watching American Horror Story where there was this paranoid feeling about being in a psychiatric ward. Like, what if everything is just made up and none of this is actually happening? What if you're just imagining all of this? It's a terrifying thought, but also kind of fascinating. Watching movies and TV shows can really affect your mindset. After watching something intense, there's this tendency to take on characteristics of the characters or the environment. It's like stepping into that world for a little while and carrying it with you even after the show is over. Some people might call that dissociation. It's when you disconnect from reality a little bit and get lost in your own head. But back to Justin Bieber and the tour situation. Fans need to be patient. Just because it's not happening right now doesn't mean it will never happen. Justin is clearly being strategic about his comeback. He doesn't want to rush into anything and then regret it later. He wants to make sure he's ready both mentally and physically before he commits to something as demanding as a world tour. Coachella will be a good test run. He'll get to perform in front of a huge crowd and see how it feels. He'll get feedback from fans and critics, and that will help him decide what comes next. If it goes well and he feels good about it, then maybe he'll start thinking about a tour. But if it's too overwhelming or if he realizes he's not ready, then he can take more time. The most important thing is that Justin does what's best for him and his family. Fans want to see him perform, but they also want him to be happy and healthy. No one wants to see him burn out or struggle because he pushed himself too hard. So, if taking time off from touring is what he needs to do, then that's what he should do. In the meantime, fans have plenty to keep them busy.
There's new music to listen to.
There's the Coachella performance to look forward to. There's his clothing line to check out. And there are moments like the bowling alley video that give you a glimpse into who Justin is now and where he's been. Justin has been through a lot over the years. He went from being a teenage sensation to dealing with public scrutiny and personal struggles. He's talked openly about his mental health and how difficult fame has been for him. He's worked hard to get to a better place, and now he's protecting that peace. That's admirable, and it shows growth and maturity. So, yes, it's disappointing that the tour isn't happening right now. But it's not the end of the world. Justin is still making music and still connecting with his fans. He's just doing it on his own terms and in his own time. And honestly, that's how it should be. Artists shouldn't feel pressured to do things just because fans expect it. They should do what feels right for them. The fact that Justin is being intentional about his comeback shows that he's learned from his past. He's not just jumping into things without thinking anymore. He's taking his time and making sure everything is lined up the way he wants it. That's smart, and it will probably lead to a better outcome in the long run. Fans have been incredibly loyal to Justin over the years. They've stuck with him through everything, and they'll continue to support him no matter what. So even though they're disappointed about the tour, they're not going anywhere. They'll be there when he's ready to perform again, and they'll show up in full force. If you've been following Justin's career and you want to keep up with all the latest news, then make sure you subscribe to this channel because we're covering everything that happens in the world of pop culture. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.